Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're completing our letter now, and I have given you examples. So, for those of my college graduate school attendees, please forgive me for not including graduate programs, but I'm sure you can understand or substitute where possible. But this one I did at least make some reference to a graduate school. So, our final part of our cover letter. If you look to the top of your screen, that's the majority of your presentation screen. Here's the example, or here's the real life one without the promptings. It says, my resume illustrates specific examples of passion for teaching and learning. Simple sentence. My volunteer activities are consistent with one that desires to work with students. So please forgive me. To work with students from diverse backgrounds. Building positive relationships with high expectations can be noted in my work with students at Village Chule in Toledo, Ohio. Again, that's a brief encapsulation of what your resume is going to tell the interview committee or the person that is sifting through the applications. The next paragraph, it has been my pleasure to communicate my strength, talents, or I have in parentheses, you can say skills, or you can say professional assets. These are ways to sophisticate it with sophistication and deliberateness that you are the right person for the job. It has been my pleasure to communicate my strength, talents, my skills, my professional assets as being one who builds positive relationships with students, parents, and staff. Why is that important? Your relationships are not just with students, they're also with parents and staff. Our relationships with our school community are comprehensive, and we have to be able to interact effectively with each customer group, if you will. Listen how I transition to the next sentence. Additionally, I look for ways to grow and possess a strong desire to meet the needs of diverse learners. So basically, you are telling the person that's hiring, no matter how innovative you are, no matter how smart you are, no matter how excited or how much passion that you recognize that you have room to grow and that you are looking for ways to grow as a teacher. And I think that was one of my downfalls as a new teacher, because I was very confident in my abilities, in which I should have been, but I didn't have enough humility to understand that I needed to possess some things that I needed to learn. How about this? All of your lessons that you learn may not be positive, or even that you will activate them in the classroom setting. Excuse me. Some of your ways in which you will grow will be knowing what not to do by the persons whom you work with. So you're making a statement about growth. Now listen to how we sophisticatedly with sophistication, invite ourselves for an interview. I look forward, this is the third sentence, I look forward to an opportunity for a more in-depth conversation how my strengths, my skills, my talents, my abilities, my professional assets can benefit. I made up a school district, benefit the Cleveland Municipal School District, or you can say Bowling Green State University School of Teaching and Learning. Now watch this. Thus, I attempted to limit this letter of application to one page. You are basically saying to them, I know you want to know more about me. And the reason why I know you want to know more about me is because I deliberately didn't tell you everything that's good about me, because I condensed it into one page. Your resume is going to say some things, but then we'll go on to the next level. Final sentence before our salutations and signature. If I can provide further information, please feel free to call me, or you might want to say, don't hesitate to call me, and restate your number even though it may be at the top in the header. And it says, thank you for your consideration. You can say, thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing me to share my professional assets. Now, your salutation. Yours in education. Keep it simple. With warmest thanks, something that shows them that you are consistent from start to finish with your intent to be a part of a school community, a graduate school. So if you're doing a graduate school, respectfully yours, something along those lines. Sincerely is redundant. It's so 80s, but you can use sincerely. I'm just one that I like to use. I like to use my different ways of saluting them before I leave. And make sure you sign your signature on your resume. Do not do what I did in the resume where it has in cursive and written my signature. Sign your signature and scan it so that they can have an authentic copy of your signature. Okay, so now it's your turn. I've given you an example. I've given you the template, and hopefully you've had your template up working while you've been viewing this lecture. Now it's your turn. Submit. There's going to be, in this module, there's going to be a place for you to submit your cover letter. Now your resume, I think I'm going to take class time to actually, because you know what, your resume is very important in terms of how you word something. So if you were a babysitter, or if you were a nanny, please don't put babysitter or nanny. Put a private contractor for child care or child supervision. You always want to make, you're not lying, you're just what they call embellishing. Don't say I was a babysitter, say I was an independent contractor for child care services. And if you worked in any way in an instructional capacity with young children or with students that you babysit, you simply say provided intervention activities for students in what area. If you played with blocks that had numbers on it, it's math. If you read story time, provided enrichment activities in literacy for students. Those ways of wording your resume, and we're going to devote a whole class time to that because really you want to make sure that words are strategically used and skillfully placed. All right, your turn. Submit your cover letter to Canvas today by midnight. But don't leave me because there's one more part that we're going to go over before we leave today. So thank you for tuning in. Go to the next slide, please.